Hello everyone, this is Redact and this game is Suzerain. Suzerain? Suzerain? Suzerain. Yes, this game is Suzerain. And we shall resume where we left off, where we started to make our big boy decisions. Nothing can possibly go wrong. So we've got the capital. Okay, so what else is going on? What's happening over here? Port of Latchavan loses importance. The latest marine traffic reports show that the port of Lewin is no longer the busiest of the Mokopa continent, falling behind to the 3rd position. As a negative indicator of our administration, Latchavan still has potential to shine again as a major trading centre. Largest port of Sordland holds enormous importance, particularly as the main distribution centre linking the capital and inner parts to the rest of the world. Major port city will hopefully keep supporting a possible economic upturn. The entire country if investment projects succeed. Right. So we've got to invest there. We've also got to invest over here. So infrastructure will certainly help. These are the baddies. Congratulations. President Smolak sent his congratulations. Corruptive future. To normalise the diplomatic situation. Okay, it's fine. We can do that. We want to. There's scum. Congratulations. Beneficial partnership deal in the future. Send his best wishes. Warn us about the threats of the encroaching Malanivist influence of the United Kontan from the east. Emphasize the importance of unity. Where's Kontana then? Is this them? No. Close cooperation. Countries in the future. Concessions. From Valg's land in case of promising trade deal. Arcasia's growing influence poses. Right. Congratulations. Continue the trade partnership between our countries' equal partners. These guys didn't care, or I selected them already, can't remember. Oh, what's this say? Don't know. It's in foreign. What's this? Low production. Low levels of productivity growth in the region. High rates of food insecurity. Malnutrition and rural poverty in inner areas of the region. Right. Well, I guess we can do something about that. Okay, what's in the news then? Oh my goodness. Alright, policy analysts are reviewing the recent aggressive military and diplomatic developments of Rumburg. Where's Rumburg? In the north. There, okay. In conclusion, it's highly likely that Rumburg will keep trying to push further south, threatening territories of Sordland, Berlin, and Agnolia. Okay, they're a threat. I've been elected 4th president. Won the election. Oh, right. Support in Assembly goes for a campaign finance bill. A bill to change the criteria for the allocation of public funds to political parties is proposed. The bill aims to change the criteria from the proportion of votes won in general elections to the proportion of seats won by a political party. So an increase of 28 million SR to the government. Okay, that's a good idea. I like that idea. Yes, I like that idea. Swedish National League starts season. Right, the football started. Nearly 10 teams. Getting more popularity in recent decades with tickets dropping significant prices. Okay. Not that interested. Fire strikes Holson State University archive. Sudden fire broke out in the archives of the university, engulfing a significant part of the building. Put out by local firefighters. Reports on the scene relayed that the event occurred in the evening. Multiple staff going to hospital with burns. It damaged several academic works and employee records. You might have lost a world, or we might have lost Macopa. We don't know until the day we can enter the facility to evaluate. Okay, there was a fire. Committee for Reforms. Gloria Tory said the committee includes all political parties of the Assembly. It's been formed for preparation of potential changes to the Constitution. It has asked to submit a comprehensive report to find a solution for the current problematic state affairs in the government institutions. And to appeal to the people to help in maintaining stability and order in the state. Fine. No more news, no more news, that's fine. What's going on here? Increasing homelessness. Worst hits regions in Sordland. Homelessness skyrocketed since the recession. Particularly starting among Bluish people. Homelessness increased by 72% in the past 6 years. Ethnic minorities reached the highest level in more than a decade. Homelessness, that is. Bluish minority of the region now account for 47% of all homeless. Okay, do we want to do something about them? I think we need to do something about our own people first. And role-playing like that. Alright, let's go to the capital, see what's going on. Briefing on the common economic situation, meeting on the media strategy, read the report. Fire broke out. A near to total destruction of employee records from 1890 until now, along with the original copies of internationally recognized academic research, was destroyed. Do I care about that? Don't know. Not at the moment, I don't. Read the report from Hull's Public Opinion Report. People viewed on democratic reform in government structures changed over the last decade. Reformist propaganda. What a massive increase in demands for democratic reforms. Not going to happen. Estimate 55% of the population supports reformist ideas. Not going to happen. Media strategy. Alright. Lucian and Peter arrived at my office. Talk about recent developments. Media strategy. They took their seats. Greetings, gentlemen. Further information from the interior about the sudden fire. Do I care? Was it put out? Tell me more. Tell me more. Potential arson case. Ooh, can we pin this on one of the judges or something? Supreme Court. Intelligence Director has been called. Good. Is it really necessary? Would anyone hit the archives in the first? You see no logical motive. Seems the chief suspects foreign sabotage. They informed us that a large section of the archive has been destroyed. It's included tens of thousands of global recognized research yet. It's a shame so much knowledge would lost. What would the motive be? Yeah, what would the motive be? Government records have been destroyed. Oh, I see. Luckily, most originals have copies in other universities. Okay, good. Just a fire accident, we do have copies of most important works, so no single fire can eradicate our knowledge. More important, Marcel Caroti contacted him. The Carontis also had been known as one of the richest and most influential families in Sordland. Marcel Caroni was no exception. Oh, he's that guy. Yeah, he's that guy. Okay. Oldest son. Richest man. It's off to meet with you, Mr. President. What does he want? After passing on his father, may he rest in peace. Marcel aims to become the next CEO. Productive collaboration. Okay. A powerful and influential media conglomerate. Okay. Which means it would be wise to have them on our side. What does this productive collaboration entail? It didn't want to explain it over the phone, in person. Okay, so we'll talk to him about that. They have substantial power over content. That's what he would be offering, yeah. So we can try and plant some stories about how terrible the Supreme Court are. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First we need to determine our general approach. Now we're media expert. Lucian made some very interesting arguments at the preparation meeting yesterday. There are two ways we can approach the media. One of them is by influencing, which has advantages, others keeping it independent. It's the media that must be used. It's a tool. I agree. Media plays a huge role in adapting public opinion. Help us avoid damage from scandals or mistakes. Okay, we need to get this guy, this rich guy in our pocket. I do acknowledge this will sound a bit harsh. I believe that our perspective, knowledge and experience allows us to have a superior judgment compared to average Swordfish citizen. Exactly. I am smart. I share your opinion. Yes, I concur. Even if we don't use it, we should be able to have control over it. Exactly. Control over the media. With where my certain expertise with public opinion swaying, I will make sure the media is on our side. Good, Lucian. 2 knocks on the door. Come in. Livia Suno, my new secretary, entered the office. Her dark calls bounced as she crossed the room to my desk. She spoke with a slight lilt in her voice. Excuse me, Mr. President. Mr. Galade's secretary has been calling me and wanted to relay a message. Marcel Carotti, the new CEO, is on the line. Well, the ball is in our court now. Would you like to talk to him, sir, or would you like me to? I'll talk to him. No, we should get Lucian to talk to him. Connecting the call. Livia left the room and the phone started ringing. Lucian picked up the line and started to listen. A few minutes passed as the two talked over the phone. Good news indeed. Congratulations, Mr. Carotti. Thank you for contacting us. We'll talk later. What's so important? He just elected CEO by the board of directors. He offered a partnership deal concerning his media brands. He's inviting us to his resort near Conriat for a meeting. The board decided rather quickly, gave him the confidence to approach us. He's going to offer a real deal that now has the power of the conglomerate too. Choice is up to you, Mr. President. I can set up the meeting soon. I would like a meeting, yes. I'll set things up. Expect a worthwhile meeting next month. Settle. Looking forward to next month. I wonder if he has a pool. Yes. Looked at his watch. Done for the day. We're continuing as we left off later. Thank you for your time. Good work with Marcel. Keep it up. Yes, keep them on my side. Lucian and Peter nodded before gathering their documents and leaving my office. We're already getting the attention of key figures and potentially dangerous ones. No! They shall all be subservient to me. Oh. What happened? I accepted the offer to privately meet. Yep, why not? He's an important person. Nothing wrong with that. Don't know what you mean. Why shouldn't I meet these people? I am the president. And no one should be questioning my authority anyway. Right, what else is going on? I can't see any other pop-ups or anything apart from the news, which I'll do in a minute. Oh, more. Okay, read the report from Holsword. The Reform Committee reports that potential change to the Constitution will likely result in strong opposition, whatever. Members of the Assembly in support of such direction seem to be great numbers, possibly make up a majority. And most members of the United Sordland Party seem to be reluctant about supporting such changes. They should do what I say. I am the president. SIJ joins the fire investigation. So it's a potential arson case, no suspects. Suspected sabotage by a foreign nation. Those nutters to the north, isn't it? Probably them. All them. No, it's Rumberg, isn't it? Probably Rumberg. We'll try and pin it on them somehow. Campaign finance bill. Let's see. The criteria for the allocation of public funds shall no longer be according to the number of votes won in the general election, but the proportion of seats won by the political party in the assembly. Yes, that is supposed to be to my advantage, so I will sign that. Ultimate power. Okay, what's in the news then? Electoral funding reform. Campaign bill has been signed into law by a majority vote. Friends Richter, who rejected the funding package, said it contained too much unfairness in the allocation of the budget. Don't care whether it's fair or not. Sought to delay by demanding a formal recorded vote, but was overruled. The law brings small changes to the criteria for the allocation of campaign budgets and introduces no changes to the total amount of public funds reserved for the political parties. Geopolitical, regional trade, Sordland's regional trade. The question on our heads, what will be the trade policy? Strategic geographical location. Historically, Anolia and Velen have been the natural trading partners, depending on the direction. Only that these new trade will be brokered with at least one of these partners in the near term. All in all, regardless of which trade partners the administration decides to go with, one thing is for sure: regional trade will boost the economy. The real question is, what does Vargsland and Lesbia think about Sordland? I think we should have a trade deal with everyone. Radical. USB hijacks elections. Here we go. New law further expands the unfairness of our legal system, changes the rules of eligibility of the public funds, bases the number of votes, now it's the number of seats. This insane law also results in the governing United Sordland's Party shares from the funds to double. Oh yeah. There's no rot. It's just me, all powerful. The Horseword elite gathers for a lavish state ball. Many citizens in the country are uncertain about their own future, but the state has no problems with wasting taxpayers' money right from the start. We demand these traditions of wasteful nature will become a thing of the past. You demand? Who are you to demand anything of me? No. Do as I say. Suspicious fire. Fire broke out. 5 wounded, but in stable condition. It was put out. Conrad Coroni passed away. Okay, so this guy... Yeah, so we know about that already. Briefing on the current economic situation. Alright, let's do that. Simon Hull, Gus Manga, and Lilius Graf were about to arrive at the White Room for our scheduled economy meeting. This was a room in the Maroon Palace where all important meetings were held. 2 assistants arrived first, carrying a projector. I heard Lilius Graf's voice. She was usually patient, almost motherly tone as she took in heated arguments. Gus, do you really think that such an economically advanced area is in need of investment than England? Do you really think that such an economically advanced area is more in need of investment than England? 5th most populous part of the geographical region. I think this is the one that wanted... is the poorest. Yeah, stagnant economy. Yeah, this is the one that needed some investment. Yeah, okay. My interior minister strode in. She was clad in shades of brown and beige. The only spot of colour, a bright yellow newest star at a necklace. What's the newest star? Don't know. Don't mean it is, Lilius. What about the unemployment crisis in Greater Holsword and Giesland regions are going through? These areas are our economic heartland. Gus curled his hands into fists. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development's temper hadn't changed since his days in the Alfonso administration. But neither had his reputation for getting things done. His far-reaching network of connections was unlike any other. Simon Hull quickly stepped between the 2 ministers. Without looking at either of them, he cleared his throat. Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, everyone. What's this debate about? Come on. This is a disagreement in an internal economic strategy. I'm not sure if I'd call it a disagreement. Yeah, explain what's going on. What's going on? Mr. Major proposed we should invest in already developed regions. Meanwhile, many cities in England, like Lenco and Avery, don't have any basic commodities delivered in time. Gus, what's your take on this? Still very good construction companies willing to take government contracts in Greater Holson and Giesland. Boosted rural economy. I think it would be wise to pick investments that will go through these regions. What are your thoughts, Simon? I agree with both of them. England is in need of investment and we can improve both of them. Okay. Thanks for sitting on the fence, Simon. I won't avoid this topic now since we talk about it in the future. I'd rather fully brief you on the current economic situation. Simon, my staff and comprehensively analysed every aspect of... He was interrupted by a groan from one of the assistants by the door, both of whom now visibly struggled to hold up the heavy projector. Oh, you can put that there. He pointed below the painting of President Sol. He's in place the projector next to the table and installed a white screen on the wall. Leave now. I mean, thank you. And please leave now. Ooh. They left the room. Simon never had a good way with people, but his facility with numbers made him the most sought-after economic specialist. Okay. Simon started to look for his slides. He always carried documentation around with him. Wait. What happened to the new police station construction in Sordland? Going through his briefcase, he paused a moment to answer. It got stalled due to government property boundary issue. I'd be meaning to look at it. Lilius, I can look at that. Sordland needs all the security help it can get. Sure, more time for me to spend on analysis. His eyes glittered when he finally found the slides he was looking for. Been some developments about the Sordland Ren losing further value today. Trying to stabilise it with the central bank. Recession of 51 put enormous pressure on the economy, resulting in the collapse of the value of our currency. The entire situation was a significant cause of concern for our administration. What would you like to know about the current economic situation? What's our GDP and debt situation? Current GDP is 310 billion. National debt is 427 billion. Okay. Not good. It's still hard to fathom we lost nearly 150 billion in wealth. The past 3 years were tough. What's our unemployment and inflation rate? Employment is skyrocketing, staggering 16%, inflation is high at 7%. That's not good. Employment is increasing crime and drug use. We need to take people off the streets. Inflation isn't helping with our average citizen either. What's the status of our recession? The economy's been in recession about -6%. Oh shit. In the past year, GDP has dropped from 15.5 to 10.5. Administration's success depends on our ability to stop the recession. The sooner we can reach GDP growth, the better. I have all the information needed. Let's move on to economic strategy. Simon scattered the paper stack in front of him in an orderly manner and took a final look at his notes before clearing his throat. You see, the situation is alarming, but not everything is negative. An extensive privatizing program of Alfonso left us a large budget surplus we can use to stabilize the crisis. Final subject we need to settle in is what general path will we take? Solonomics-based nationalism happened in the 30s, and Alfonso's privatization began at the end of the 40s. What will our administration focus on? One of our main promises was to promote a planned economy to stop the recession. To be frank, I don't think this was a good idea. Oh, shit. We shouldn't go back to Solonomics. Solonomics is the reason for the recession. Self-sufficient will help us in tough times. Exactly. Ignored it. Economic systems without regulation are bound to fail. What are the consequences of a free market? The more the economy we control, the better we can manage the recession. Okay, what are the downsides? Most state corporations and other government-controlled systems are less efficient. Government, Sordland, and institutional corporations have a solid history of delivering. Structural problems as Solonomics was to lead to a recession according to predictions at the time anyway. Either way, we pick one of the doctrines and retain the option to make decisions. Okay. Not recommending my point of view. The last thing we need is a chaotic economic plan. Another important point is the impact on our economy's superpowers. We have done well not aligning ourselves with any one of them. Economically speaking, an isolationist policy overall can only work if they were to reap the benefits of both fears and their rival. Very dangerous to attempt, but still possible. We must be cautious. There are schemes being devised. We shall not give in to their wants now or in the future, otherwise our country will turn into a pawn. Well, yeah, we won't be controlled by anyone. Precisely my point, we stand strong and show an example. I hope we don't regret this. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Mr. Vichy will be in charge of informing you on those types of foreign policy decisions. We must first decide our internal economic plan. But to thank Sordland's planned economy for the boom, it clearly shows the success of this system. Let's finish what our founder started with the capitalist free market reforms. His party was going to enrich Sordland with a planned economy focus being as stronger allies. It would make United Contact politically look at our country in a more positive light. They are the proponents of planned economy. The influence Arcasia has in the world economy is extensive. Who are they? So what are they? Promoting capitalism, right? So they're like the US. Okay. What's our long-term economic schedule? Big instructions in company trade relations, tax reform, and welfare privatization or nationalism initiatives would be some of them. Must choose wisely. Remember that free market economy in all forms is the future of the world. I wouldn't be so sure. Okay, let's go capitalist, but we will make decisions that will... We need to keep control, so that's what we're going to do. The recession was the direct result of his free market reforms. History must note that the reason for the recession was because Alfonso was betrayed by his party. It's not true. There's plenty of time for him to do it. Can't make change happen in 2 years. Let's move on. Final thoughts on Mr. President. Critical institutions must remain in state control. We must be fully responsible in delivering services. Look at opportunities like privatization to create financial resources. A market economy doesn't require much guidance. We're able to attract foreign capital. Yeah, we must remain in control of the critical parts of it. Few could be, and it wouldn't be negative, but either way you make the choices, yes. What will our general economic plan promote? Yeah, we'll do that. Not sure if you made the right decision, but it's fine. You guys look worried. Now there's clarity on which direction we're heading. I will work on a good plan accordingly. This concludes our meeting. Yeah, I'm a bit wishy-washy, flip-flappy, but it's fine. So they dispersed for lunch. Okay. What happened? What happened? What's going on over here? Increasing unemployment. So there's unemployment. I'm not going to remember all of this. Do I have to make notes or something? Probably. Planned economy. Okay. What's going on here? Infrastructure report. Recent collapse of the industry in Lemberg. Reduction in trade, traffic and road maintenance. Right. Ports, country roads, bridges suffered lack of investment. Right, yeah. We need to invest. We need to invest. We're going to invest everywhere. The recession has led to a reduction in rail assets. Main lines are currently in service, increasing demand. Yeah, so I think we need to invest in here first, because they're also talking about it being a port, the main port, so we might invest there first. And this region was the poorest, if I remember, the green one. For the first time in 3 years, the agricultural output of Sana has increased. And now it's accessing more generous credit allowances from the government. Agriculture industry potential to become a powerhouse of investments. Right, so we also need to invest in Sana. In Bagia. Everyone wants me to invest everywhere. I'm not sure I can do that. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave it here. This particular episode. Next time we'll have a look at what's going on here. Mega investment? Right, okay. We'll decide that next time. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you next time where we will continue to make excellent decisions. Take care, everyone.